Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, continuing yesterday, you got Hope, Zoe, and Rafe. Zoe and Hope are fighting over the gun, and they do one of these things where it's like they're holding each other and holding the gun, and finally the gun goes off, and Rafe gets shot. Like I said yesterday, and so Rafe gets shot. And, Hope punches Zoe in the face, one of those lovely action soap opera scenes. And so, the gun drops and Hope rushes over to Rafe. Now, Rafe is sitting there holding his chest. And I'm just like, okay, I guess the blood is going to come at some point, right? Like, It just so turns out that Rafe's badge was in his pocket, like she just shot, when she shot Rafe, it hit his badge. So he's sitting there like, oh, I think I'm fine. Yeah, I think I'm fine. He pulls, his jacket or whatever, and he pulls out the shield, and you see the bullet or whatever that's like lodged into the badge. And I'm just sitting there like, of course that's what happened. Of course that's what happened. Lucky as shit, I'll just sit there and say, so, Zoe's like, oh, I apologize, I'm sorry, this, that, and the third. And, Rafe goes to, I guess, find, David. Apparently that's his son. So you got Hope, pointing a gun at Zoe's like, oh, well, listen, this is it. And Zoe's all like, I'm sorry, they got my son, blah, 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 blah. And, Zoe gets a phone call. And, Zoe's like, listen, I know you got the gun pointing at me, but I gotta answer this. This could be about my son. So Zoe answers the phone or whatever, and then hangs up. And he's, she's like, listen, Orpheus is in jail. That means nobody's gonna be able to pay the ransom. I gotta go and I gotta pay the ransom to get back my son. And Hope is all like, no, you're not going anywhere. You just shot a police officer or whatever. Blah blah blah. You're not going anywhere. And so Zoe plays the mother card. And I mean, and granted, what other cards is she actually gonna play? So she's like, listen, I gotta go get my son. I'm gonna walk out this door. If you're gonna shoot me, shoot me. If not, And of course she's all like, well, you're a mother, so you understand. And then, she's like, if you're gonna shoot me, whatever, I'm gonna go get my son. So she, walks off or whatever. Rafe comes back with David. And Rafe is like, so what happened to Zoe? And Hope's like, well, I had to let her go because, she had to get her son. And Zoe, Hope is like, well, I did the right thing. And Rafe is like, well, I hope so. And, after that point, Rafe takes, David back to his house and hugs him. And, that pretty much ends Rafe's scene. And you got a couple of scenes with, Will and Sonny. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take me a bit to get used to. If I start watching both of them, I have to, the hospital Sonny and this Sonny and Justin and Ned. Anyway, so that scene ends, and you have this scene with Will and Sonny. And I honestly tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie, it was probably the most boringest part of this whole episode, because all this that they're doing is talking about how they got one of them. I don't know which one is which, but one of them is talking about how Orphean or Orpheo or whatever has hurt their family and has killed his mother and stuff like that. And now we can get some peace or whatever and some closure. And that's pretty much, they just talk about all the stuff that's happened and how he misses his mother. And I don't know who is related to who, so I don't really know what the hell is going on. But just not to talk about, oh well, David is safe, and that's pretty much about it. They kiss. I guess they make whoopee. I'm just gonna say. And that pretty much ends their scene. It's just really a lot of fluff and a lot of talk, and it just goes nowhere, to be honest. So, yeah. So let's talk. Let's talk about Justin and Orpheus, because I think that was probably among my favorite part. Not Justin himself, but well, so you got Justin that's holding a gun on Orpheus, and Orpheus is like, well, why don't you pull the trigger? It's like, well, you can't do it, but who can do it? Steve. Because Steve is a real man. And he just starts and this is probably my favorite fucking part. This is my favorite part. Because he's all like, oh, well, Steve, now that Steve is back, I don't know how Kaylee's going to sit there and react, because you're not going to shoot me. It's pretty obvious, you're trembling and you're shaking. But, Steve, Steve is a man that can get it done. And that's what Kaylee would want. He's like, that's what Kaylee would want. And that's what Kaylee would need. That's what Kaylee needs. Kaylee needs a real man. And you're not really a real man. And I'm like, first of all, I'm laughing my ass off. But I'm also sitting there thinking, as much as a dick as Orpheus is sitting up there acting, not gonna lie, Steve does seem like the type of guy that Kaylee would go for. I mean, the rugged exterior, the bad boyish or whatever, the get her done kind of guy. Like, I can see Kaylee. Apparently, Kaylee and Steve was a thing, but then I guess they thought that Kaylee was dead. That Steve was dead, so, Justin came in the picture, and now pretty much what winds up happening is that you are... Oh, let me pause it for a second. Oh, you're a consolation prize. And that sucks, because no one wants to be a consolation prize to anyone. So, he's goading him and goading him and goading him and stuff like that. Now, outside the precinct, you got Steve and Kaylee. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but if not, I will get her name at some point. But Kaylee and Steve are sitting there talking, and Steve was like, he has a lot of pent up anger and stuff like that, and I just wonder where it's all gonna go. And Kaylee and Steve are talking and stuff like that, and then Steve noticed that the gun is missing, and the evidence or whatever. Apparently, I thought Port Charles was really bad with their police department, but Salem, not really looking so good, because Justin was able to grab the gun from the evidence bag or crate when no one was looking. So yeah. And when Steve noticed it, they rushed. They're like, oh crap, Justin has a grudge against him. Apparently Justin and Steve has a grudge, because I guess Justin's wife got killed, and his wife was Steve's sister. So now they're in the room and they're looking at Justin, getting ready to pull the trigger or whatever, shaking or whatever, like he's gonna shoot him or whatever. And you got Kaylee that's not there trying to talk Justin down, saying you got a lot to lose. Don't do that to one of your sons. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to your family. And none of this is working. Justin's like, no. He's slipped out time and time again. Apparently he has connections or whatever, ISA or something like that. And he's like, he's just going to beat the charges. And they're just going to probably, they're probably just going to let him off the hook. And Orpheus knows this. Orpheus knows that Justin is not going to do anything. He's not going to kill anyone, So finally, Steve is like, listen, I can't let you do this. You have too much to live for. But me, well, everyone thinks that I'm still dead, or the world thinks I'm dead or something like that. So I'll do it. I'll take him off the hand, Because he does need to die, and he needs to die by me. So finally, he convinces Justin to put down the gun, and Steve takes the gun. So now Steve has the gun pointed, blank range at his head, and he's all like, all right, see, he wasn't gonna kill you. Me, well, you know how I am. You know my history. I've done it before, and I have no problem doing it again to you. Now Orpheus is all like, yo, you know, you're a killer, but you're not a murderer. Kind of thought those were one and the same, but okay. You're like, you're a killer, you know, but you're not a murderer. Now he's all like, oh, yeah, he'll kill me. I'm like, yeah, he won't kill you. And, you know, he has the gun to his head or whatever. Then he pulls out the clip. And, you know, then Justin starts all like, oh, you say you were going to kill him for me. Why didn't you kill him? And, you know, he's like, you should have killed him. And, you know, then he hugs Hayley and starts crying or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I just pausing this whole thing. I can see in the future that Steve is going to take Kelly back because, oh my goodness, how do you wind up Justin? I mean, I know he's back, and I know you want to do the right thing, but I mean, come on, seriously. I don't. Come on, it's not even a contest. It's not even a close contest between Steve and Justin. I don't understand why. Like, she has this look when she looks at both of them like, well, which man should I choose? I'm like, really? Really? I mean, I'm straight and I'm just like, it's not even, whatever. So yeah, that scene ends. And now you got John and Marlon or Marlene. I don't know which, I'm still getting used to their names, but I think it's Marlon or Marlene. You know, they're sitting up there, and John is like, you know, this guy, Orpheus, you know, he has some up his sleeve. I don't know what it is. And Marlene is like, listen, you need to just kind of just chill out, relax, and just, you know, don't let him steal any more of our time away, you know? And so they go back and forth or whatever. And then Marlene pretty much is like, hey, you know, she pretty much figures out the one thing that can quiet a man ever so fast. And I'll just leave it at that. So, you know, they're about to start kissing and stuff like that. And then you got Eric and Nicole outside. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Nicole is like kind of the town pariah of, like, you know, bad girl turned good. I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but I just kind of get that whole sense that maybe I'm not. So Eric and Nicole come in. They tell them the news or whatever, that they're getting married. And everyone's all happy and, you know, welcome to the family and everything like that. So they're talking. Meanwhile, there is a bomb that's going off. The bomb started, I think it was at like, 27 minutes or whatever when it was just John and Marlene. And then when they started discussing even more, I think it was like, and then when we had 4 of them in there, then it was like 20 minutes. So then Hope comes in. And, you know, Hope and John and Smith are talking because everyone's all happy and stuff like that, and you got Hope and John talking, and John's like, he's moaning or whatever, like, grunting sort of, but, you know, he's all like, you know, I can't shake this feeling, like, there's something off, like this isn't the end. And then, they start talking about a game or whatever, you know, a favorite game that John and Orpheus play, and, you know, they're brainstorming or whatever, and finally, John's like, you know what? He likes explosives. You know, he's an explosive expert or whatever. And so you got John and Hope Smith. They're like looking through furniture and tables and stuff like that. And Marlene's like, oh, what's going on? What are you guys doing? You know, they're thinking that they're crazy. Finally, Hope is, you know, they look down and underneath the couch is a bomb. The bomb is like, at this point, is 1 minute. It is 1 minute. So everyone is trying to scramble to get out the house. I'm sitting there thinking, why don't you just throw it out the window? I mean, I don't know what their house looks like, but I'm like, throw it out the window. So what do? They all run out the house together with the bomb. Hope is holding onto the bomb, and they're all trying to run out the house or whatever. And I'm just like, why? I mean, I guess it's a nice house, but I would sit there and think, hey, you know what? I can always replace the house. I can't replace us. How about I just leave the bomb there and we'll just run out? No, that's not what they do. And even I'm still just like, okay, sure, that works too. Let's all just run out the house with the goddamn bomb. Okay, all right. So they all run out the house, and apparently Hope must have carried the bomb or whatever, because this happened off screen or whatever. Hope carries the bomb and puts it in a trash can and put the lid over it or whatever, and I guess ran. And everyone's like, "Oh, Hope, you're crazy or whatever." But you know, we're so grateful that you're okay. And so everyone's hugging each other, and John is hugging Hope or whatever, just congratulating her and just thanking her for saving everyone's lives. And I'm just like, there was so much of a better way to do this, but here in Salem, this is how we do things. It's okay, and this is pretty much the end of the review. It's nice to know that Salem's police and Port Charles police are on the same level of incompetence. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe he's a lawyer or something like that. But I mean, the fact that evidence was just missing like that, and only Steve knew about it, and I don't think he even worked for the police department. Okay. Anyway, so that was pretty much the end of. That's pretty much the end of Days of Our Lives. I gotta sit there and say this soap opera is starting to grow on me. For me, I guess it reminds me a lot of One Life to Live. I guess it's just too bad that I didn't really get to know more about Will and Sonny, because they do seem like promising characters. But it was a lot of fluff. They didn't really talk about a lot of stuff. They mostly reminisced about stuff, about their past, the stuff that they've been through, what's going on now, which really wasn't a lot. Apparently, there's some woman named Maggie that is going to be left off the hook, and there's a drug or whatever that's in. I honestly tell you, I don't know. And that's just something that I'm going to probably get to when that stuff comes along. So, that is the end of Days of Our Lives recap. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone who's been watching so far. I know that my reviews have been coming out a little bit late, just because I get out of work late and then I gotta eat, because I feel like, here's the thing, I feel like if I don't eat and I start trying to watch this stuff, I'm gonna miss stuff that I want to talk about, and I don't want to rush through a review. I'd rather the review come out a little bit late and I know that I did a good review, something that's very sound and just good, than for me to rush a review. I can't sit there and speak for a lot of other YouTubers, but I don't like to just put out anything. It's like, oh, well, I'll just put out something, whatever. That's just that. So yeah, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching, liking, all comments and stuff like that. Subscribers is well appreciated. I'm gonna try, when everything gets back on track, I'm gonna try to review both General Hospital and Days of Our Lives. I'm gonna try to make it work. It's gonna be interesting. So stick around, because I gotta be honest, Days is starting to grow on me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Again, Steve is my favorite character. Yeah. So, have a good day, a good night, depending on when you're watching this. Be safe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next review.